Everyone told Penny the penguin she could never fly. But she was about to prove them all wrong. She was a little penguin with a very, very big dream. While all the other penguins were content waddling and sliding, Penny was busy studying the sky. She'd watch the albatrosses soar, their wings catching the wind with effortless grace. "Why not me?" she'd chirp to herself. The other penguins would just shake their heads. "Penguins don't fly, Penny," they'd say. "Our wings are for swimming." But Penny's heart told her something different. She felt a pull, a desire so strong it vibrated through her entire body. She wasn't made just for the water. She was made for the air, too. She just had to figure out how. So her training began. Every morning, she'd waddle to the edge of the highest snowdrift she could find. She'd take a deep breath, close her eyes, and picture herself gliding through the clouds. She flapped, and flapped, and flapped some more. Her little wings beat against the cold air, a blur of black and white determination. At first, nothing happened. She'd just tire herself out, collapsing in a heap of feathers. Yeah, the penguins would watch with a mix of pity and amusement. But Penny wasn't discouraged. She knew this was just the beginning. Every flap was a step closer to her dream. She analyzed the birds again. How did they hold their wings? How did they use the wind? She started making notes, sketching diagrams in the snow with her beak. She was not just a dreamer. She was a student of the sky. She needed more than just flapping. She needed a launch pad. So she started experimenting. She tried hills, snow ramps even, slippery ice slides. She'd get a running start, her little feet pattering against the ice, and launch herself into the air with all her might. There were a lot of less than graceful landings. Bewing, she'd bounce off a soft pile of snow. Splosh, she'd land beak first in a slush puddle. Slip, she'd slide right back down the ice she just climbed. Each attempt ended in a comical tumble, but Penny just shook the snow off her feathers and tried again. She was learning. She discovered that a steeper angle gave her more height, and a running start gave her more momentum. Each failure was just a data point in her grand experiment. She was a scientist, an engineer, and an aviator all rolled into one tiny, feathered body. The other penguins stopped laughing. They started watching. A quiet respect was growing for the little penguin who dared to defy gravity. Her persistence was legendary. Day after day, she'd be out there, from the first light of dawn until the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the very sky she longed to be a part of. She became stronger. Her wing muscles, once small and suited only for swimming, grew more powerful. Her legs, used to waddling, became adept at powerful takeoff sprints. She learned to read the wind, to feel its subtle shifts and gusts. She knew which direction it was blowing just by the way the snow crystals danced in the air. She was becoming one with the element she so desperately wanted to conquer. It wasn't just about the physical training anymore. It was about a mental connection to the air itself. She wasn't just trying to fly. She was learning the language of the wind. Until one windy day, the air was different. A powerful gale swept across the Antarctic landscape, kicking up snow and howling with a fierce energy. The other penguins huddled together for warmth and safety. But Penny saw her chance. This was it. This was the wind she had been waiting for. It was strong, powerful, and full of lift. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a drumbeat of fear and excitement. She climbed to the very highest, most treacherous cliff she had ever attempted. The wind whipped at her, trying to push her back, but she stood firm, her small body braced against the gale. She looked down at the vast, icy expanse below, then up at the turbulent gray sky. This was her moment. All her training, all her failures, all her dreams, it all came down to this. She took a running start, flapping with every ounce of her strength, and leaped from the edge of the cliff. For a breathtaking moment, everything went into slow motion. The wind caught her, not as an enemy, but as a partner. It lifted her, cradling her tiny body. And then, she actually flew. For 2 glorious, magical seconds, she was airborne. She wasn't falling. She was soaring. The world opened up beneath her in a way she had only ever dreamed of. She saw the colony from above, a cluster of black and white dots. She saw the glittering sea and the endless ice. It was more beautiful than she could have ever imagined. The sound of the wind was a symphony in her ears. Time seemed to stop. In those 2 seconds, she wasn't just a penguin. She was a creature of the sky. Then, as quickly as it began, it was over. Gravity gently reclaimed her, and she landed softly in a deep drift of fresh snow with a gentle poof. For a moment, she just lay there, stunned, the feeling of flight still tingling in her feathers. Then, a huge, proud smile spread across her beak. Okay, only for 2 seconds. But to Penny, it felt like forever. It was proof. Proof that the whispers of her heart were right. Proof that the impossible was possible. She had done it. She had flown. She pushed herself up. shook the snow from her coat, and looked back at the sky. A cheer erupted from the clifftop. The entire colony had been watching. They weren't laughing anymore. They were chirping and flapping in celebration for the little penguin who taught them all a valuable lesson. As Penny stood there, gazing at the clouds, she knew her life was forever changed. It wasn't about flying for miles or joining the albatrosses. It was about listening to that voice inside, about pushing past the limits others set for you, and about having the courage to leap, even if you might fall. She might still be a penguin who was better at swimming, but now she was also a penguin who knew the feeling of the wind beneath her wings. She learned that the greatest journeys aren't always about the destination, but about the courage it takes to start. You don't need wings to fly, just a brave little heart. And as the sun set, casting a golden glow on the ice, Penny knew, with absolute certainty, that she would fly again tomorrow. Thanks for watching our story. We believe everyone has a little bit of Penny inside them, a dream that seems just out of reach. Don't let anyone tell you it's impossible. Keep flapping, keep trying, and one day, you'll find your own way to soar. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of courage and wonder. Let us know in the comments what your big dream is. We'd love to hear it. Remember to be brave and keep reaching for the sky.